Boy, you a fool, wonder what's cool, tryna figure out what the rhyme about. I heard your man's went crying to his mommy and his daddy when the cops drove by his house.
What is the difference between having buffer zones at military funerals and having them at abortion clinics?
From my understanding, the buffer zone at a military funeral is more strict. President Obama recently passed a new law establishing a zone of 300 to 500 feet from a funeral location in the case of the military funeral. And it's also a time factor factored into it. The time window doubled to 2 hours before or after that funeral, that protesters cannot protest during that time period. And any person found in violation of that law has to prove that they did not intend to disturb the peace, and the police have more discretion as to whether or not they can choose who they want to prosecute. And when they do decide to prosecute, a fine can be imposed of up to $500,000 or up to 1 year in prison. And when you're talking about a buffer zone at an abortion clinic, that is a little bit more lenient. It does protect the workers and the staff from the people who work there and the patients from being harassed by those protesters. That buffer zone is a much smaller area. It's confined to, in different states, it's different sizes. In some states, it's 35 feet, 25 feet, and as small as 8 feet. So it's a much smaller area where the protesters are allowed to protest closer to the clinic. And the Supreme Court is actually in the process of overturning several states' rights to establish those buffer zones, considering them unconstitutional and a violation of free speech laws that protect the protesters.
All right. The second one is, can a military chaplain pray in Jesus' name?
Well, in my opinion, I really feel like a military chaplain should be able to pray in Jesus' name, considering that our country was founded on religious and moral values. And even the motto for our country and printed on all of our money is "In God We Trust." So if that is the foundation that this country was built on, it's only natural that a military personnel or chaplain should be able to close a prayer by saying "In Jesus' name."
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The difference between a buffer zone in a military funeral and a abortion clinic would be that in a military funeral, there's a limit of, say, distance you have to be away from the funeral zone, and you have to be protesting on a matter that wouldn't affect the family of, say, the funeral, the body is being taken care of and stuff like that. And the zones are all around each state and stuff, and the whole country. Every zone's distance is the same and stuff like that. And with abortion clinics, it would be a lot different because it's closer, and every state's thing is their distance is closer. Should a military chaplain be able to pray in Jesus' name? I believe they should be able to, because our country was founded on Christian morals and Christian beliefs. But at the same time, if we can pray in Jesus' name, then how would a Buddhist soldier in America feel, or how would a Muslim soldier in the American Army feel? It's just that it's a topic that's in the air, but our country is based off of Christian values, so that's what our basis of religion should be in the country, is Christian values.
And we can do it without any spite. It's just for tonight. And we hope it doesn't end. So we'll drive back to our homes chilling with our friends.
Ballin' like Jabari Parker, they say I look like him if we